If you guys are looking for fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins, check out my sponsor at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT to get 5% off your order. Link in the description below.
The champ is here!
Welcome back, Money Team. This is Mad Money Shot, sniffing out the Madden cheese as always. That's right, I told my Madden followers I was going to try to put out a Madden video every Friday, or at least once a week. And I didn't say it was going to be this type of video, but this is a very interesting topic to me. It's something I've been trying to make for a very long time. Now that we're in the year 2025, about 2 to 3 months in, I think it's a good time to talk about this because EA did announce a couple weeks back that they will be having Madden 26, which is something that you come to expect. Every year they put out a game. But they didn't necessarily mention that it might be the last exclusive NFL title with EA Sports, and there's a lot of evidence to suggest that. So I'm going to go over all that in today's video. But before I do, if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. And if you guys need more help, more money plays, if you're still playing Madden, you can download any of my ebooks instantly by clicking links in the description or the top pinned comment. Now, I want to start off by saying that for people that think that EA is just in this endless license agreement with the NFL, that's not true. In fact, the NFL license is only exclusive through this year, 2025. It is scheduled to end. Now, they are in a negotiation, but there's no necessary time period for that negotiation to come up. They basically have a negotiation with the NFL right now going to, if they do extend it, going into 2026, which is not very long. They're basically on a year-to-year basis now, where in previous years, the NFL license was extended for much longer. Now, the current deal that EA and the NFL have in place was something that was actually signed to an extension back in 2020 for $1.5 billion. And it goes through this season in 2025, as well as an option to extend it by the end of the year through 2026. If the target revenue was hit, and by all estimations, that target has been hit. But lately, EA has really been suffering as far as their ability to recoup the amount that they're putting out. Now, this may seem like business as usual, as obviously it's in the contract that they have an extension year that can happen, but there's been a lot of rumblings over the past couple of years that the NFL was not really happy with the product that EA Sports has been putting out. And that started back in Madden 24, where it came out that it was a make or break year for EA Sports. That was the big headline, that the NFL wasn't pleased with how the game was going, that, obviously fans are turned off by the game. And obviously they want people, younger audience especially, to be playing these games to stay, basically up with the NFL. They go hand in hand. As a recent article shows that only 31% of global sports fans ages 18 to 24 watched live matches, while the large portion of them choose to engage with their preferred sports through video games. But younger audiences really aren't playing Madden as much right now. Can you imagine what's going to happen when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out in the fall? Now, it's not that EA isn't still having success in the football license world, because they did have one of the most successful games of the year in College Football 25, but being successful in college football's space doesn't do anything for the NFL. And you can look at, you can read some of the tea leaves here, that when you see things like, the new soccer game they put out, FC underperforming, which is really what the article of EA losing the majority of their money is about. It seems to be mostly geared towards heavy losses to the FC 25, as it was still the 8th best-selling game of the year, but that's something that I think they expect to get more money out of, and they were losing a lot of money out of that. And another game called Dragon's Age, the Veilguard, which is, I've played Dragon Age games. They're not nearly as big of an audience, at least I don't think, as things like sports games, like especially for EA, when it comes to games like their soccer game and their football game. But they were willing to offer that up as an excuse, I think, to try to say, like, well, Dragon's Age underperformed by around about 50%, but they're not really giving you hardcore numbers on the two larger titles, which is the soccer game and the football game. Those are the titles that I think really carry their brand or carry their company for the most part, and they're really just feeding you a little bit of information because they have to explain why they lost $6 billion in the company's overall value, as well as 16%, which also caused their stock to drop by about $50 a share, and has since been rebounding slowly based on the fact that this is still a very big company. But for people that play these games and know how poorly EA is run, as they've been voted the worst company in America multiple times, as well as using really shoddy practices like with their loot box system being very aggressive. And this is all stuff that I've gone over in previous videos, especially when Star Wars Battlefront came out and it looked like you couldn't even progress your character without buying stuff. It's really predatory. So they're known for that, and they're to the point where it's just turned off a lot of players. years, and people have been wanting to get away from EA and Madden for so long based on the fact that there really wasn't any competition. I think it's one of the main reasons you're seeing that Madden is performing so poorly, is because even though EA put out a competitive game and it's still an EA license, it's still something different. That's one of the reasons that me and a lot of people are playing college football, because at least it's something different. Even though it's the same company, it's still a different game, and it still gives you a different feel rather than the same repetitive nonsense that's been going on for so long. And it almost feels like EA might have bulldozed their own game with a different game from the same company. But like I said, the NFL doesn't look at it that way. They're not happy for EA that they're having success with College Football 25. They want to know why less people are playing Madden, and that's going to be their only concern. They're not trying to, that's really what their main concern is. So the fact that we haven't already seen a license renewal for 2026, even though it's in a contract as an option, and it seems like the criteria has been met, to me says a lot. Now, the real reason that they're probably not doing a, basically announcing that the license is open is because somebody has to take the reins and develop a game. Now, who could possibly do that? Well, there was a slight break in the action, I think around 2024, where 2K did get their foot in the door to make a free-to-play mobile game called NFL 2K Playmakers, which at the time was a big story based off the fact that EA had exclusive rights with the NFL, but this was termed as, this is not a simulation game and EA has the simulation rights, but they still got their foot in the door. They're still back in the room with the NFL talking to them, and it has been reported that NFL 2K or 2K Sports in general has not put a lot of time or put a lot of thought and effort into what it would take to recreate a football game. That's been the story, but if it gets to a point where the NFL is like, look, we're not going to do this with you guys anymore because you're just consistently failing at a larger and larger margin, it's just going way downhill, then 2K is already in the room. So it makes sense to me that they would be the team that would pick up the slack and make a competitive game just like they did about 20 years ago, especially since EA has an NBA title and 2K has an NBA title. I mean, they do have competing titles. So the fact that EA let 2K back in the door, I'm sure it didn't sit well with them then, and it probably doesn't sit well with them now, based on the fact that they're losing market value and they're losing a lot of their footing in this space. So it wouldn't surprise me if we hear that NFL 2K is expanding what they're doing at some point, because we've already heard that Madden and EA are going to be making other college-based games. There's a rumor that they're going to be bringing back college basketball, which was a popular game back in the day, and that's a much more lucrative business model for them because they're paying these college athletes like $500 for their exclusive rights for these college games, and then they're making billions. So that to me is probably what they're using to pay the NFL, but that's not necessarily going to be good enough. The NFL just getting their money is not necessarily going to be good enough. They want these brands, they want these games to build their brand, and it's not doing that. I know that from a Madden creator who's been doing this for going on 9 years. This is not like, it's not the height of Madden right now. This is supposed to still be a very happening time for football as the Super Bowl just passed and there's no more games. Typically people play Madden a lot more at this point, but you can just see the production when it comes to YouTube channels like myself and other channels, that the views that they get on college videos are way up and the views that they get on Madden videos are way down, which is why a lot of people like myself have just gone to doing college football full time, because I'm not going to keep doing a dead space where there's really not a lot of profit. I got to feed my family. That's really the point of all this. So to me, it's clear, it's evident in the numbers that, and I know EA isn't necessarily going to put that out there because they don't necessarily want the NFL to see that. They don't want that to be the view of it. But I think you can fully predict that even if, and I do think that they probably will still extend to 2026, but I think in time you will hear that NFL 2K is ramping back up to make a competitive game, and that EA will no longer have the exclusive license, because like I said, NFL just getting its money, they're happy for that, but I'm sure they can get their money anywhere. They want to build their brand, and EA is destroying their brand, and they've been doing it for a very long time by putting out the same shoddy product year in and year out, and this one that just came out is probably the worst. And it's getting worse based on the fact that they're putting less effort into it, based on the fact that they literally just did a complete overhaul of the FC game, trying to save that in an update mid-season, trying to save that game, where they literally changed core gameplay systems like passing, shooting, goalkeeping, and defending, which is, you can tell they're putting the majority of their effort into that based on the fact that that game just performs a lot better. So that's not what the NFL wants to hear. You know what I mean? These other games, them putting all their resources into fixing these other games is not what the NFL wants to hear, where they're constantly being put on the back burner, as it's just been one of the most broken games I've ever seen. I've done a lot of videos about it. Simple stuff like playbooks still aren't fixed in Madden. And you guys can tell me in the comment section, I'm sure. There's a ton of issues that have been perpetuated with Madden all year. Like I said, the biggest one for me was the fact that I can't even get the team playbook I want half the time going into a regular game, which is absolutely insane that in 2025, they can't get something as simple as letting me choose what playbook I want in either games, really, in college football or Madden. But in college football, they basically just said you're stuck with the team playbook. But in Madden, which is something you've had for 20 years or more, the ability to change playbooks to whatever playbook you like, customization, things like that being removed or just being dwarfed or not being available is just unacceptable. And it's just insane that it's going an entire year and they never fixed it, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me that you can go an entire year with small issues like that and then never get fixed. And this is a professional gaming company that has exclusive rights to some of the biggest properties in the entire world when it comes to soccer, when it comes to football, when it comes to all these things, and they can't fix simple things. So to me, that's just insane, and I think it's about time this is going to come back to haunt them. And I think that eventually, like I said, you still have to give time for whatever competitive company that's going to try to join the space, because that's a lot of money to try to get in with the NFL. You basically had to have your ducks in a row just to be able to try to attempt something like that. And EA might be the only company at the moment that's really situated that way, even though they're putting out the same thing, copy and paste over and over and over, and it's the same crappy game. At least they have the ability to put out a new game every year at the end of the day, which, like I said, I don't know what company's going to want to step up. If 2K's in the room, maybe they do. I'm not 100% sure if they're going to want to do that, but there is definitely an opportunity for some company to step into the NFL license world, and I think that's going to be coming within the next year or two. I really do think that the forever license that the NFL has with EA Sports, I feel like it's about to come to an end. So I'm going to end the video there the same way. If you guys want to leave your thoughts and your comments in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. Other than that, thanks for watching, man. My shit out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.